Greetings fam, Alex here, looking a bit red in the face, Santa-esque, as we dive into a new year. Sun is low, the polar vortex is here, and I'm freezing as usual, my buns off in a Polish park by a river. I'm actually heading out of Poland fairly soon. I wanted to treat this video as a sort of hi guys video because it's been a while since I shared on YouTube specifically. For those of you guys who want to hear my voice more and see more of my videos, I share more of those over at my newsletters on Substack, one being untetheredmind.co, my mindset newsletter, which is doing very well, and my masteryden.com writing and online business newsletter, where I share more videos and stuff. But this is just going to be a quick chat as I amble along the river's edge here on a beautiful, beautiful day, making me realise and start regretting my decision to move on from Poland, Krakow, Poland, after 3 years plus. Actually, it's been over 3 years. I think I moved to Poland in summer 2020, arriving in Warsaw. Lived there for 2 months before popping over to Krakow on the train with the intention for visiting for a couple of weeks. Ended up staying ever since. 3 years on, here we are. But it's time for a change. I've been finding myself a little bit checked out towards the end of last year, 23. Sort of a little bit bored of things, needing a change of scene, needing to do more with my physicality, with my hands. I've got this ever-growing yearning to involve at least, incorporate at the very least a little bit more hands-on activity. I do way too much lounging about, watching videos, and then working myself on a screen. It's all a very digital experience for me. So looking forward to a new phase. I'm heading over to Estonia, Tallinn in Estonia, initially as a sort of a recce, just to check out the country. I've heard great things. I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to bring over a horde of tourists when I inevitably become famous, obviously. But I heard great things, and the main reason for my choice in going there is to tend to this yearning of wanting to do more with my hands, something more physical, something more in the environment, more in the outdoors. And I really, might just be a pipe dream at the moment, it might just be a thought that I'll try for a bit and then realise it wasn't my thing, but I really don't think that's going to be the case. I've had this want to have some kind of a house with some land that's mine, that I can own, that I can do stuff with, that I can build in, that I can have like a little studio in and create stuff in. I want a place where my creative expression is allowed to go beyond the confines of a Word document. I want to be able to make things out of wood, maybe do a bit of gardening, a bit of farming even, get myself down the line a couple of animals. Just really looking forward to that. So Estonia, I'm thinking, is, yes, there are better places, there's obvious risks geographically with Russia and so on, but I'm finding that Estonia has been really working its way pretty rapidly to the top of my list of potential countries where I can live this dream out. This dream of homesteading, being a bit more self-reliant as well, really appeals to me right now, and I know that it's a growing trend. So it's not just me following a trend. I've been interested in this for 10 years plus, and I remember when I was like 9-10 years old, the thing that I said when people asked me what I want to do when I grow up was farmer. I wanted to be a farmer. And funny enough, ended up doing geography, which would be the farming degree, wouldn't it? Of all degrees, of all college courses, geography was the thing. I never did anything with geography. Now could be that opportunity where I take a bit of that understanding of weather processes and apply it to life. So Estonia's next, heading there at the end of January. Gonna spend some time just enjoying the city, but also renting a car or getting a car and doing some trips out into the countryside to look for potential places to buy some land. Fortunately, I'm in a position now where I'm just about able to afford bit of land and potentially build a house, or I mean, if I can do it myself, that would be amazing, but I haven't got a clue how to do it. I've never even banged a nail into a piece of wood yet, so that will be an interesting experience. So there's that. Oh look, there are people sledging over there. Sledding. What a lovely time of the year. It's nice that we've had another snowfall. The other big thing is quitting caffeine. I know that some of you have expressed interest in my track record of quitting caffeine, and I've done it a couple of times, as you've seen, including bringing with it various other changes in habits, like quitting sugar and things like that, which I haven't done this time. I've just quit caffeine outright, so it's not just coffee, it's all caffeine, including green tea and black tea, and I've been off, I just calculated, for 14 weeks clean, apart from the odd little bit of chocolate and stuff, which sadly does have a bit of caffeine in it, but it's really negligible in many cases. So I have to tell you that the last 3 months or so, what is that, over 3 months, right? 14 weeks, has been one of the hardest phases of my life in a long time, in that I have attached a lot of my identity, sense of happiness and joie de vivre, shall we say, to getting up in the morning, making a cup of coffee, feeling the buzz of that coffee, sitting down, writing notes, kind of sitting there, feverishly writing cool ideas down and writing an article, writing a bit more for a book, just feeling good and excited and motivated and jacked up, and sometimes a little bit kind of over the top and a bit aggressive, and that often flows into my writing, and people love my quite jokey, sometimes kind of aggressive in a funny way writing, and that very much disappeared in the last few months. There have been other challenges going on, family life and that kind of thing too, that kind of came together, and then the darkness of the winter and that kind of stuff. It's been really hard because with caffeine you're getting that daily morning dopamine spike. This is something that people don't often talk about when it comes to caffeine. It's not just about energy and waking up. It's really giving you a dopamine hit, as in you're experiencing a dopamine high. The thing about that is that when you stop it, those dopamine hits no longer are there, and you're going to feel the absence of that, the psychological withdrawal as well as the physical withdrawal that comes from that for a while. And everyone that you talk to on, like, if you go on Reddit and stuff, they all say it's going to take like 10 days for you to move past that moment when you first quit caffeine. But actually, from what I've seen, there's that psychological withdrawal and that kind of just having to deal with the absence of that pleasant joy that you get from caffeine for a long time. It takes a while to reset, and really, to be honest, after over 3 months, it's only now just starting to feel more balanced. It's been really difficult. Like, I've just been, in a word, very unmotivated, like day in, day out, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I mean, think about how concerning this can be if you've got a business to run and you're doing your own thing, and you're kind of reliant on your sense of energized joy when it comes to things like writing. Like, writing is very different to building a house, for example, right? Because you've got to be intellectually stimulated when writing. It's very difficult to write something when you're just a bit flat, but it's a lot easier to bricklay when you're just going through the motions. And that's been so hard. I feel like I've kind of lost a part of myself, and this was the case previously when I quit caffeine those other times, and in both previous cases I fell off the wagon and after 3 months returned. But I'm feeling pretty good that this is going to be the time where I just have it out of my life for good. And there are many reasons for why I wanted to quit. Namely, I noticed that before things like podcast interviews and doing even interviewing other people on Twitter Spaces and things like that, and being in meetings and groups, I'd still be unnecessarily wound up. Like, my heart would be pounding. I still would do okay, but I would just be unnecessarily anxious. Socially, I wouldn't sleep very well. I was noticing that I would always wake up about an hour into my sleep when on coffee, even if I had drunk only 2 cups, before 1 p.m. type thing. And there's a lot of you I know, you'll share in the comments, oh, you don't need to completely quit. You should try this special fungi that you can dig out of the earth and mix it in with a bit of turmeric and a little splash of paracetamol and throw in like a couple of little rosebuds and you'll be fine. Well, I love all that and I appreciate that, and I'm not really sure why I just took the piss out of you guys, but there's always that guy who has this very clever concoction ready and waiting for the lever of caffeine. But I am open to that kind of suggestion, and I've been drinking other things, and Rooibos right now is the bush tea of choice. Anyway, sleep, anxiety, frustration I'd often find on caffeine as well. Like when I'd had a couple of coffees, I found myself getting unnecessarily aggressive and angry and annoyed at stuff. So it's the same old kind of things, mainly anxiety. And having been off it, the difference is absolutely noticeable. I feel way calmer. Sleep is amazing. I'm sleeping like 8 hours a night. And I've got no anxiety. Literally, it's like 5%, 10% now. And I had a coaching call, for example, the other day where I was just like, normally when I'm having a sales coaching call and I know that I've got to try and sell somebody on my coaching, there's always that kind of like anxiety in there, and I, sweating and kind of feeling really tense. At this time, it just flowed out and I just felt really good and got the sale. Things like that make a difference. So it's up to you. I'm not here to preach and tell you to do anything with your life. But for those of you who, for example, might be suffering from unnecessary social anxiety or other forms of stress, caffeine makes a huge difference. But there is a payment that you've got to put in, and it's quite substantial. This is why so few people are able to do it, because really, according to a lot of people talking on the decaf Reddit, shaking off caffeine from your life completely, especially if you've been an avid partaker in caffeine for a long time, it takes a while, and it takes a lot of pain and a lot of withdrawal and a lot of that sense of like, oh, I just wish I could have a little hit. Life is hard enough as it is. I just need that hit. You got to push through all that, and you're going to have to push through many, many days of not really giving a crap and not feeling productive and not feeling very interested in anything. And it's really hard, and I've just spent a lot of time in the last 3 months unable to do much else other than watching YouTube videos, and I've really been binging unnecessarily. Well, it's the only thing I could have done, so at least I learned a few things about homesteading and stuff from those videos, but I haven't really done a huge amount. But this is also going to make it easier for me. Look at this cute little doggy. Where is he? It's going to make it a lot easier for me to not go back, because I've now been through such a phase of hell. I couldn't ever go through this again. So there you go. So that's where I'm at with caffeine. About 15 weeks off. I've been drinking mint tea and rooibos pretty much the whole time, chamomile. Feeling way better now, just feeling like there's little sparks now of motivation and energy and enthusiasm that I once had, and it's getting exciting again. Like, I'm able to write with more enthusiasm now. The other thing I was going to say is, why am I quitting caffeine beyond those other things? A huge element in this that's really pushed me over the edge is understanding what's really going on with caffeine, and it's a bit of a scam, really. The drug makes us think that we're getting more energized, more lifted from from what we're drinking, and it feels like it's like getting an advantage. It's like taking a drug that kind of gives you wings, but actually what it's doing is it's filling you with cortisol, stress hormone, making you feel energized when all you really are is in fight or flight, and you're actually way less effective. We think we're more productive, but we're actually really fidgety, and we just go around in circles, and our focus is actually loosened on caffeine as opposed to thinking that it's more focused. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. It's difficult because there is definitely a difference between how one feels on caffeine and how much work one gets done on caffeine versus when you come off it. But once the withdrawals are through, you get to this new phase where you've returned to your true kind of source of energy, which is just you burning off food energy and fat energy, and it's coming from a place of real human health and how we're supposed to function, which is not to be stressed all the time. And so I mean, look into it. But I'm feeling way better now, and it's just good to be back, hopefully. I mean, there might be phases again, even in this next upcoming weeks, where it kind of goes down again, goes flat. It's not a linear process, so I'm expecting it to be difficult. Been a bit rubbish, but excited about Estonia, excited about introducing you guys, perhaps even on a fresh new channel. I may, if this stuff comes to play and I actually do manage to find a bit of land and I do manage to get things moving and start really building stuff, then that's going to be something I want to document, and I may keep the two channels separate. So one is for me just talking, and another one would be for me actually filming my process and developing this new life. I'm more of a temperate guy. I like being in colder climates. I like being in countries where there are seasons and there's change, and with the world warming up, I thought it would make sense to go somewhere that gets cold more of the time, because the heat's going to chase that, isn't it? And it's going to get generally more warmer. So I'm heading north, guys. I'll keep you posted. I will endeavour to share more. As you've seen, nothing's really gone out in the last few months because I've just been completely flat. Feeling way better now. Any questions, any thoughts, do share them down below. I can't believe it's been nearly 20 minutes, but hey, it's been great to see you guys again. Signing out.